Loud noises, big numbers, go brr. Today we're gonna talk about building weapons for crit the easy way. So let's get to it. So I figured we'd get started with two weapons everybody's pretty familiar with in the First Descendant, the Thunder Cage and the Python, two of everybody's favorite SMGs. So if we take a look at the base stats of Thunder Cage, we can see it has a firearm critical hit rate and critical hit damage that are pretty high, but its weak point damage is pretty low. Now if we take that same methodology and we inspect our Python, we can see its firearm critical hit rate and critical hit damage are much lower, but it's got much higher weak point damage. If we take a look at them both side by side here, we can see that Thunder Cage, without any modifiers, on the left has a much higher firearm critical hit rate and critical hit damage than Python does, while Python has much higher weak point damage. This is something that is critical for you to keep in mind when building a weapon for critical hit rate and damage, as you want to start off with a strong base stat for a weapon in order to get the most out of it. So now that we got a little housekeeping out of the way, let's take a look at Thunder Cage and build critical hit rate and damage for that. Now to make this really easy on you, go to your sockets and sort by Almandine, which is the A symbol. And Almandine generally has all of your critical hit mods in the same area. Now to take this a step further, you can type critical hit rate or critical hit damage into the search box here. But since we want critical hit for everything that we're working with, just type critical hit and let's go from there. So the first two mods that we're going to take a look at are Better Concentration and Better Insight. These are two blue mods that you're going to get really early on in the game, and they're both going to give you a significant boost in your critical hit damage and your critical hit rate, which you can see the massive increase on your left-hand side over here. Now these next two mods are going to be purple ones, which are rare, and you may not actually get them for a little bit into your gameplay, but Insight Focus and Concentration Priority are going to take your critical hit damage and rate to the next level. So when equipping these mods, you'll notice they're all Almandine. You will see that your critical hit damage and hit rate on the left hand side over there, along with your reload modifier, which is great for cycling damage, is going to again skyrocket, and you're going to be in a much better place. And please keep in mind, these mods may take you a little bit to get, especially to upgrade them to the level that I have them at. However, these four mods together are your strongest critical hit rate and damage foundation that you can get in the game. So with those mods out of the way, let's load it into the laboratory and see what we can do to some level 100 enemy. So starting off, we're just going to use our basic Thunder Cage, and you're going to see that we're not going to crit very often. But when we do, we're hitting for 21,932 damage. We're going to go back into our menu. I'm going to equip just my blue mods, and I was in combat here, but I'm going to go back. There we go. There's our blue mods only. And we're going to see that we're going to crit just a little bit more often, and we're going to be hitting for 34,048 damage nearly every time that we crit. Now taking this one step further, we're going to go and just have our purples on. Now when we hit with our purples, you're going to notice that our crit is going up a bit more, but our crit damage is incredible at 42,422 damage, which is better than anything we've had so far. So now let's put it all together. We're going to go to TC Go Brr. We're going to put our blue mods on. We're going to put our two purple mods on, and we're going to rip into this level 100 enemy and see how much damage we do. And look at that. Nearly every shot is critting on this guy, and we're getting 54,538 damage per critical hit. It's that easy. And so remember, when you want to build a weapon for critical hit rate and damage, you're going to want to go to the item card and look at its details and inspect the base stat for its critical hit damage, inspect the base stat for its critical hit rate to make sure you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. Last but not least, you're going to want to get your 4 critical hit rate and damage mods: Better Concentration, Better Insight, Concentration Priority, and Insight Focus together and slap them on your weapon. So if any of this helped you out, even gave you a bit of understanding, drop a like. Maybe even head into the comments and tell me what you think about the video. And don't forget, we're on Twitch and Twitter at the same tag at 0_OCXO. We're also a Nexon creator. So if you felt like supporting even more, use my creator code whenever you buy something in game, join our Discord, and we'll be able to give you some special benefits if you do. Big thanks to all my supporters that are already in the Discord. And if you need any links at all, check the description below and they'll all be there for you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Descendants. Until next time, 0 out.